Hey, this is Tony Ross, and haven't been playing around with stuff for a bit, but how you doing? Happy New Year and all that other stuff. So I'm in Harmony Essentials, Harmony 22 Essentials, and I'm going to do this quick little test, kind of playing around with building out a blast from a little firecracker here. And this is coming from our upcoming masterclass on using Harmony Essentials. I haven't actually done a class in Harmony Essentials in a while, and I wanted to kind of pull out all the stops. So this is going to be something that's going to be popping up in the next couple of weeks. And if I click, let's go ahead and create the scene. Great. All right, first and foremost, I want to go to my colors, and I'm going to rebuild all my colors for a bit. I'll probably just keep black, but the rest of these I'll select and go ahead and click minus. And I'm going to, make myself a decent sketch color here. So me personally, I like kind of a darker sketch color, like a dark blue, and I usually drop my opacity a bit. All right, that's cool. And I'll come over here and click on my plus sign. I'm going to also add in, I call these colors sparks because pretty much it's going to be part of that little animation there. So spark 1 is going to be something red. Not the wet one. There you are. Spark 1, that's cool. Oh yeah, get the opacity back up, get the alpha all the way back to 255. We'll click plus. The next one is going to be more of an orange. That's cool. That'll be spark 2. All right, and let's add spark 3, which is more of a yellow. I'm going to get some warmth in there so it doesn't look too, or it doesn't get pretty much blown out on white. All right, I'll add another. This one's going to be kind of a little white there, kind of a yellowish white. And I'm getting one that's a little more blue-ish. Maybe. I want to go there? Maybe. There. This is going to be our blast color. Right. Not too shabby. And we'll go ahead and close that out. So, the first thing we're going to do, when you're working in Harmony Essentials, there is no node view. You're working strictly on the timeline. So that's what we're going to do here. The first little layer that's here, I'm going to change that name to Sketch. And I'm going to grab my brush. And I'm going to hold my O key down to change my brush size. So I click and drag to the right, gets larger, drag to the left, it's a little bit smaller. I'm going to grab my sketch color. And what I want to do is almost that little star that we grew up learning how to make, like something like this. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to hold on my command key for a moment to get my select tool. I'm going to copy this and go ahead and paste it. Now I am on my select tool now, so let's rotate this little guy. And what I'm doing is pretty much building out a little rough of that design. Are my snaps on? It looks like they are. Tool properties, turn off snaps, or snapping, excuse me. So that looks kind of okay-ish. Okay, I think I like that one a little bit better. So what I'm looking at is this little combined little shape here. So maybe that looks best there. Maybe that's the grounding part. All right, So what I'll do next, I'm going to add another layer here. I can actually do the quick key, which is Command R, Control R on PC. So we'll call that a clean blast. Add and close. And let's lock the other layer. And also I'm going to turn on my light table, and that's going to frost back or fade back the other layer. All right, I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to grab my line tool, and a couple things I want to change up here. For one, I'm going to just use a decent line weight. I do want to turn on my snapping here. All right, so what I'll do, let's bring this down a little bit. I'm going to click and drag. Well, one, I need a decent color. Let's undo that. Let's get back to our colors. Great. I'm going to use black. So I'll click and drag a line here, and I'm using my little ref as a guide, and I have snapping turned on, so it doesn't have to be exact. Matter of fact, I'm going to almost perfectly make these little weird mountains here. Holding down my space bar to move stuff around. And again, I'm just using this as a guide. The cool thing about with the snapping at this point, it's not going to leave me with any weird gaps in the artwork. I'm just going to add an extra little point here. Cool. All right, so there is a little blast, the main little icon there. I'm going to turn off my sketch layer. All right, and if I press the letter K, I can kind of see where the outlines are, and it would show me if I had any broken paths here. Everything is kind of closed off, which is good. All right, so let's go to our select tool. I'm going to press the letter K. Don't need to see that right now. And what I'll do is I'll select the entire piece. We're going to copy this and then paste it. If I hold down Shift and press up twice, well, maybe up once and up over, pretty much lining it back up. I could have done a copy and paste in place, but not doing that right now. Moving my pivot point here, the drawing pivot, so it's in the center. And I'm going to hold down Option and Shift, that's Alt Shift on PC, kind of pull this in. So it's a little bit smaller there. And what I'll do here is come in and correct a few things, like if I've got a weird overlap there. Let's grab our contour editor. If you're familiar with, what is that thing called? Illustrator. This would be like the direct selection tool. And let me turn off snapping again. All right. So make sure, I'm just making sure I don't have any weird tangents there. That looks kind of okay. All right. Now, I can select our little inner blast here. We'll copy that and paste again, and Option Shift or Alt Shift on PC to bring that in. A little bit smaller there. Maybe rotate you a little bit. And again, what I'm trying to do is make sure I'm not getting any weird little tangents here. Looks good. Maybe pull this point down a bit. Yeah, I don't want to curve that line. All right, not too shabby. And I'm going to see if I can do this one more time here. Let's grab. Looks like I need to move that over just a little. Okay, that's not too bad. Not too bad there. Get this little guy over there. I'm being nitpicky because this is going to be seen for like a fraction of a second. So, all right, one last one. So I can grab this little middle part. Oh, got to grab all of it. Come here. All right, so we'll copy that. Make sure I'm grabbing all the parts. Copy. Command Shift V, Control Shift V on PC is paste in place, by the way. And now let's move that there a little bit. And let's grab that little point, pull that way in. All right, so that's the main little outline. It's like we're doing a little coloring book, sort of. All right, now what I'm going to do from here, other than adjust that one stupid thing that's too weird there. Let's move you up a little bit. Cool. All right, what I want to do here is quit picking with this. So I'll next come up and let's go grab our colors. So we'll go to Spark 1. I'm going to grab my paint tool, and I don't need to close any gaps here because it's really clean. So I'll just pop that in for the outside and come in here for the second one. Spark 3 is here. I thought I made a Spark 4, did I not? Okay, well, and when in doubt, make a new one. Let's come over here, double click, and I need a Spark 4 that's going to be kind of a wiped out little thing there, kind of a almost white but very yellow in tone there. Spark 04 looks good. Excellent. All right, now let's fill that in. So that's not too shabby. And the last thing I'll do is I'll come over here, go to Select by Color, and I'm going to click the black line and simply delete. So that's our blast so far. And what I'll do next is I'm going to do a little trick that I learned years ago. Shout out to Joe Suggs. I learned this trick of, if you're doing a flash, you said go small, big, medium. So I'm going to leave this one at the size for now. And I'll select all of my art, copy this. I'm going to go to the very next frame here. Well, technically, I should probably move this maybe center-ish. Cool. Select this, copy it, go to the next frame. Let me zoom in so you can see this a little bit better here. The very next frame is, of course, empty on our blast layer. I'm going to paste this. It automatically pastes in place if it's going to a new layer or a new frame. And what I'll do here is I'm going to rotate this a bit. All right. So if I look at the before and after there, frame 1 and frame 2, I do need to actually straighten this out a bit. So a quick way I can check this out, if I turn on my outlines for this layer, just click on a little square here, and then turn on my onion skin, I can see what's happening here. So I'm going to move this up so it's closer to our little center there. Let me zoom out. Turn off my outline, turn off my onion skin for a moment. There we go, that's a little better. Now in addition to this, I can select this, let's see, move our drawing pivot to the center, hold down Alt and Shift, that's Option Shift on a Mac, and bring that out just a little bit larger. I can also, let's go over here to our contour editor and come all the way down to envelope. Now envelope, what this thing does is it allows us to really distort and stretch out some pieces here. Now I may need to still go back in and line up our centers Make sure that's still going to look good. Turn on the outline. Turn on onion skin. Off a little bit. So we'll select all of that. And I'm just lining up these centers a little more. Cool, cool, cool. Turn it off. Okay, that's kind of cool. All right, last but not least, I'm going to go to the very first one again. Let's copy this. So copy this, go to the frame 3, and I'll paste. And I'm going to do one more little, I don't know, spin this maybe upside down or something. You spin me right round. Okay, let's go. Let's go here. Dagnabbit. All right, turn on our outlines one more time here. Oh wow, this is starting to look pretty crazy. Let's scoot you over just a wee bit. All right. Now, again, what I'm looking for is making sure that all of these make sense. How did you end up moving? All right, grab that first one, scoot it over a bit. All right, so everyone looks pretty decent as far as where it is, but what we're going to do here, this last one, I do want to make it maybe a little bit larger. Move my pivot point toward the center, pull it out just a little bit there. And if I go back to the very first frame, this one I'm actually going to shrink down a bit. And I'm still following, just moving that drawing pivot to the center and pulling that in a little bit there. So not too shabby. Now, good time to save, by the way. Let's turn off our onion skin. All right, now what I want to do, this is like right at the beginning. Of course, you wouldn't have the blast right here, but it'll get, when we do the firecracker, it'll actually be lined up a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and add in a few more frames of exposure. Right now, everything's on ones. So the first one, I'm going to simply press the plus key on my keyboard, or shift equals, and that adds another exposure. So first drawing is on 2. The second drawing, I'm actually going to give it 3. 1, 2. So it's actually exposed for 3 frames. Now, if you're new to working in Harmony, notice these little vertical lines. These aren't keyframes. It's kind of a drawing substitution. Or, well, actually, it is a drawing substitution. But this is how we can come about different things here. The last one, I'll go back to 2 drawings here. Now, this isn't too bad so far. If I click play, all right, because I've got 60 frames to play with here. So that's not bad. However, what I want to do with this one, I've been playing around on where I've been placing it. I'm going to place a solid color or solid thing of white. So let me, I think the last time I did this, I want to maybe bring in this last frame. There's 2 frames of the large blast, but let's delete one of these. I'll simply press delete or backspace on my keyboard. So right now it's just empty. So on this one, I will go grab my blast color and go to my tools. Let's grab the rectangle tool, drag it out. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this in. I'm going to hold down my I key temporarily to get my paint tool. All right, so that's what we have. So it's going to be really quick. And to show you what this looks like really, I'm going to turn on my camera mask for a moment. And let's say go to about maybe frame 40, and I'll tell this to stop. So stopping at frame 40. So what you'll see is you'll see it blast through really quick, and then I'll turn on my loop and we'll see what this looks like. Right, not too shabby. So the idea is pretty simple. We started from this little star, like making that little I don't want to, like, what is it, the little grade school star? Like, if I get rid of that little guy, pew. Basically grabbing my brush, getting my sketch color, and made a star, copied it, flipped it around or so, so we have something a little more edgy as far as our shape. Really, dude? Okay, that's better. And then grabbed the line tool using black, and I was able to come in and just kind of make a decent shape there. And that's how we ended up getting the final little blast there and just kind of manipulating that over frames. So yeah, this is actually built out, again, just using, this can be done in any version. Right now I'm just using Harmony Essentials, which is the baby of the family. I don't know, however you want to look at that. It's Harmony Essentials, Harmony Advanced, Harmony Premium, but this technique I did can be done in pretty much any version, because I'm doing this in the bottom one here. And yeah, I think I'm gonna, what are my swatches looking like? Swatch mode. Thank you, that's better. What did I just do, by the way? Right click, come down here, turn it to swatch mode. There are my colors. So anyway, this has been Tony Ross for TonyTeach.com. And again, this is coming from our updated or brand new flash, not flashing, thinking flash because of blasting, sorry. Toon Boom Harmony Essentials, which, by the way, in my opinion, does kind of blow flash out of the water. That's just me. Anyway, I'm rambling. So this has been Tony Ross for TonyTeach.com. Remember, make art, not excuses. So go make something. Have a good one.